Hey, how's it going everybody? Today we are going to connect our on-prem Active Directory to Microsoft Entra ID, or it used to be called as Azure Active Directory. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we already have our Active Directory server here, which we created in the last video. So I named it as timdc. And the domain is timclain.com. We then need to go to portal.azure.com, assuming that you already have an account on portal.azure.com. Let's log into it and go to Microsoft Entra ID. When you log in for the first time, your primary domain would be your default primary domain, meaning that it's a domain provided by Microsoft. So if you would like to add your custom domain, you need to go to custom domain names. In here, click on add custom domain, but I already have it here, so I'm just going to show you with a sample domain, which I don't own. So I'm just putting tklab.com, which I don't own, and click add domain. So once you add your custom domain here, you need to copy the alias or host name to your DNS provider. So I use Namecheap for my domain, and all I have to do is to go to advanced DNS and then add new records. And the records that I will add is txt as per the record type here. So I'm just going to choose txt, add new records, txt records, and then for the host I'm going to copy this, and for the value I'm going to copy this, and ttl I'm just following the ones recommended by Microsoft, which is 60 minutes. So I've already added the values here. And all you need to do is just to save that and then verify on the Azure side. Once verified, what you will see, I'm just going to delete this because I don't own tklab.com, so I'm just going to delete this. Let me go back. Yeah, once verified, this is what you will see. The status is verified, and you need to click on it and make it as primary, because if you don't make it as primary, the default domain would be your primary one. Next, we'd like to jump to the goal of this video, which is to connect our on-prem Active Directory to Azure. So let's go to the Microsoft Entra Connect and go to Cloud to Connect Sync. That's the one. And in the section, click on Download Microsoft Entra Connect. So click on that, but I've already got it downloaded. So I'm just going to copy this MSI to my domain controller or Active Directory server. So, all right, we've got the MSI file. Let's just double click on it. Installing Microsoft Azure AD Connect. The name is still the old name. Maybe they haven't changed it to Entra ID yet. Honestly, I don't know why they changed the name, because Azure AD sounds catchy to me. Even on this application, it's still called Azure AD Connect. Next, we click on agree to the license, continue, and then let's use the customize. Specify custom location. I'm just going to keep it the same. Use existing SQL Server. I don't have one. Use existing account. I think it's just going to the domain admin account, which is the only one that I have right now. But you feel free to use any account, preferably domain account. Specify custom sync group. No. Import location settings. No. You know what? Let's go back here and use Express settings. I think Express settings should be okay. Now this is the Azure AD Global Administrator that we need to add. So because my Azure portal is still brand new, I don't think there's any user here. So it's a good time for me to create one. So I'm just going to create a new user. And I'm just going to name it as Tim. Enable the account, create, and to use this section I need to be a global administrator. So let's refresh this page right here and assign roles, and I need to make sure that I am a global administrator. So I need to give this role to the new account that I just created, and that's about it. So the username is tim@timclain.com, and the password is the password that I just created. Click on next. And this is where we need to sign into the account. What's going on here? It's blank, potentially because of the security configuration here. So I can just switch it off for now. Alternatively, I can just install Google Chrome and make that as a default. But let me just quickly try that first. Or actually, I just need to add this. My apologies. So that should be okay now. We can't sign you in. JavaScript required. Okay. There you go. That's better. Now I just need to log in with the new account that I just created. Oh, I need to change the password because the password potentially is not strong enough. Or maybe because it was my first time logging in, so let's just follow that. Okay, now enter the Active Directory Domain Services Enterprise Administrator credentials. So that will be the domain admin credential here, which is this one, the built-in one that I created yesterday. So timclain /. administrator. Ooh, incorrect. Interesting. Oh, okay, I should have put the .com as well. Incorrect. Okay. Oh, okay, I did put the wrong password. My apologies for that. And then click on install. And it's going to download and install all the application it requires, like SQL Server, Express potentially, and then agents and other things. And while waiting for this, why don't we look up for a PowerShell script? So basically, from memory, I think it takes time for on-prem, for the change on-prem to be replicated on Azure. So we can speed that up with the PowerShell script. So while waiting for that, let's look up the PowerShell script. And I'll show you how to use it later on once we get into that part. So we can just Google Azure Sync PowerShell. Oops. PowerShell. I think this is the one. Okay. Let's put it to, well, actually just open PowerShell ISE, since we need to import the module first. So import the module and get AD scheduler and the actual script that we will run. So let's run this too. Oh, what's going on here? ADSync is not loaded because no valid module found. No. Okay. So let's start with this one. Okay. So since we can't get into it, let's look up how we can solve this problem. I'm sure someone in the world has resolved this issue long before me. And from memory, I think I found this issue first when I connect on-prem AD to Azure a long time ago, but I can't recall what I did to resolve it. So let's rely on Google. Okay, it's still running anyway, so we still have time. Okay, maybe this will work. Let's give it a try. Import module name. Oh, there you go. Something happened. Yeah, it's importing all the cmdlet, and then get ADSync. Run that. Okay, still getting an error here. I think once we have the Azure, this will work. Okay. I think we just gotta wait until this is done, and then we can run that script. But the main one that you will need is the start ADSync cycle, start-ADSync cycle policy type delta. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so the configuration complete. The configuration is complete. You can now log into Azure. Okay. Active Directory recycle bin is not enabled for your FRS, so it's recommended to do this. And then Active Directory is configured. Okay. So we're pretty much done. We just need to follow up on these, but the on-prem Active Directory is now connected to Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. To prove that, let's create a new user. So let's create a new user called John Doe. So just name it as John. Next, and give a password. Okay, so John Doe is created, and this is what I would like to show you. So after we create John Doe, it wouldn't appear straight away here because there's a syncing period for on-prem AD to sync to Entra ID. To speed up the process, we just need to run this start ADSync cycle. So let's run that, and the result, success. And let's go back to Entra ID and use this. Where's John Doe? Where are you, John Doe? Okay, let's see if Azure has been connected properly. So let's go back to Microsoft Entra Connect and Connect Sync. Okay, so it's been enabled. That's good. Last sync more than an hour ago. Okay. And normally it takes seconds after we run the PowerShell script. But John Doe hasn't appeared here yet. So where are you, John Doe? Oh, there you go. I think I just need patience. That's basically all I needed. Yeah, so John Doe is created here. And that's basically it. It's pretty simple to connect your on-prem AD to Entra ID or Azure AD. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video is useful for you. Have a good one.